Hi guys, it's me, Big Finn. I hope the water is nice. I hope the water is real nice. All right, so I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day today. I know that this world really tries to mold you to be someone who really depends on immediate friends and family members for literally everything. And I'm here to tell you to break that mold and to only depend on God. I know that might sound very terrifying to some, but it is the only way you are going to make it out of here and your soul is going to be saved. I'm not even kidding. So I'm going to be reading to you from my devotional. All right, let's go. So God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. That's Psalm 46:1. When the storm rages and the winds blast, the shingles come ripping off the roof and the trees go crashing onto the ground. When the river rises or the tide surges and the overflow rolls into your basement or into your living room or your kitchen, when the cyclone winds lift up a host of objects that are never meant to be airborne and hurl them ever so violently back into the ground, when fire in a blind rage ravages the earth, turning miles and miles of beautiful forest into a blazing inferno, when boiling rock overflows the mountaintops or the muddy earth slides thunderously down a mountainside to meet its victims, then it is that we learn that neither princes nor horses nor swords nor money can help us. God and God alone is our refuge and our strength. About 1 o'clock on a Friday night, Judy and Charles got a phone call from a nearby university where their 19-year-old son Tim was enrolled. He had fallen from a wall somewhere on campus and had to be flown by helicopter to the nearest hospital. So the couple sped into the night to get to the hospital and to Tim. "This is crazy," Charles said. "The last thing I want is to get pulled over, but I'd be darned if I'm not going to go as fast as I can." Then after a few minutes, he said, "The fact is that we're not going to be able to do anything when we get there. I just want to see him." Judy sat in silence, frozen with fear. When they found the trauma department, they sat for several minutes waiting to see their son. A nurse came and began to talk to them about the measures that had been taken for Tim's safety. She told them calmly that their son had broken his neck in the fall, but he was stable. At that point, a door to a room opened and Tim was being rolled out by them. He was still conscious, but only barely because he was sedated. When he was taken off to be settled for the night, the tearful parents sat together, holding hands and praying. Dear Lord, Charles prayed. "In times past, I know I've said that I needed you. But this night, Lord, you are all that the three of us have. Please stand by Tim and give him your strength to get through the night. But whatever happens, dear God, I know that you are with us, our refuge and our strength." Wow. And that's just so important because it is going to be those times where in this case, it's like the doctors really couldn't help them. You know what I mean? Like it all boils down to God, and that's who you need to depend on. That's who you need to reach out to and call out to. When I was in the pits of hell, that's what I describe it. When I was in those pits, I cried out to God. "God, save me. Help me." I wasn't calling my dad. Okay? I was calling on God, my real father. Listen, the people closest to you will actually be your demise. And it's really sad once you have that revelation. And maybe not all families are like that, but mine definitely is. My family is not someone I can count on. They would prefer to put me into danger's way. They would prefer to put me down. So I was taught to call out to God because he will always be there for me. And that's what I'm going to do. And I encourage you to do so as well.